Nix, are you here?
Present.
Present. Spoonie, Timothy Spoonie.
Present, sir.
Margaret and Mary. Do we have a Margaret and Mary?
Yes.
Cool.
And the margaritas.
All right. Class here. We're ready. Let's go.
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
This is
the time to line up behind your team, to support your team, have faith in that team.
It's peaks and valleys. It can't always be good. And as I always tell people, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. But when we do know about
house call, Trevon Diggs pick six. It's coming. They see it. Knocked away. Oh, Gregory! Hurts in trouble. 3 Cowboys wrap him up, make it 4. Micah Parsons is unblockable.
something sort of way over on my side. It's on me. It's on me. Let me turn this thing down. Let me mute this over here. You heard what's going on, Cowboys Nation? What's going on, Pick Six fam? Shout out to the Wrench Gang in the building. Y'all know the drill, man. It's Freestyle Friday. We're back in the building each and every Friday, having a fun time, ready to rock with y'all. Of course, we have already dropped the link for people to come up and join. We got some people on the back end, but before we get there, first and foremost, Spoonie.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I'm a little under the weather. I blame this Freestyle Friday, correct? I blame them damn Giant fans bothering me at the gym, messing with me, talking about don't come there Monday Night Football. And I'm gonna tell you this: if we take care of business on this Sunday, I would definitely be making an appearance on Monday Night Football, but not in this form.
No, okay. Yeah,
no,
all right. Not in this form. That's fair. They really got to you, huh?
They got me. They got
you bad. They got you down bad.
Very bad. They cooked me.
Yeah, they cooked you. Hey, with that being said, for everybody, as you're coming through, make sure you hit the like, hit the share, tell a friend. Now, you was showing me them Little League Raiders were doing some business tonight.
Yeah. So tonight was youth football night at the local high school. My son's a 7-year-old, so they had everybody from kindergarten through 8th grade. They introduced them on the field before the game, and then the kids lined up and made a big tunnel for the varsity kids to run through and give them fives and stuff. So they thought they were doing big things because they got fives from the high school kids. So they're pretty proud of themselves. So it's cool, man. It's a good night, and I'm over here just looking at my cap situation, realizing that I spend every penny that I could possibly spend, and
all the ducats are gone.
Anything I could do to allocate cap spending. There's no coach I wouldn't sign to win a Super Bowl, and there's no penny I would save to win a Super Bowl. It's all spent.
Nothing.
All spent. Don't look at the numbers. If you go to overthecap.com and you see $11 million, I just need you to know that's not real. Because Steven told us that's not real money.
It's bookkeeping.
We already spent it.
No, it's just bookkeeping. Just bookkeeping. That's all. Let me roll through here. We got a guy Marcus in the building. Bruce got the toxic juice. Stephen White's in the building. Wrench Gang, first and foremost. TC, our guy Mendoza, Wrench Gang, aka the mods of the section. AAA Ron's in the building. Toxic Tom as always. Let me see. Cowboys Corner, what's going on? Cowboys Corner tonight said, ready here, great show. Hey man, appreciate you tuning in. Chris P. Bacon, salute me familia. Appreciate you, my guy. Oh, I'm sorry. I know you got it too. Look, I ain't gonna press no more. I'm gonna let you do the hand. I'm gonna let you do all that tonight. I ain't gonna touch it. That part, I ain't gonna touch it no more. No, we're working on things on the back end. We're kind of evolving what we can do and whatnot. So on live air, you just find out that's wait, that way.
My guy Elvon, what's up, bro?
With that being said, we do, and of course, I tried to pin it to the top. I couldn't pin it, but if y'all scroll up, there's a link. You can come join the show, have a good time with us, rock with us, and I will drop the link here in another few minutes. But we do have some people on the back channels coming through. I'm gonna get to my guy right here, who's actually, if y'all don't know, before we do these shows each and every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central, me and Spoon are doing the Dallas Cowboys Happy Hour Twitter space. Come over there and rock with us that way. But our guy who is over there, he's over here now. Our guy King Von Jr. is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Light it up for him in the chats. He was coming, bringing the heat over there. How we doing, sir?
Doing fine. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey. So, first and foremost, you got the Thor right over the left shoulder there, and I'm rocking with it.
Thank you very much. I got the Wolverine shirt too, by the way.
Hey, let's go.
You already know.
Let's go.
You already
I'm
know.
digging the comics, babe. I'm digging it. Wait,
there, right there. Don't move it. Straight let's go.
Oh, snap.
Selection in here, back here. But anyway, whole nother story. But anyway, like as far as Dallas, like I know for one, like as I said in space. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, like I said, Marvel for the win. So like the thing about it is that world. Absolutely. But no, but the thing is, as even like for me, even though I'm a Cowboys fan, as I said in space, I'm a realist as well. And so on one end, we're talking about, the whole green dot, thing and everything like that. So it's just that, like, in terms, I will put it on players that I think, really need to step up the most, and so in the sense of, we said LVE, I would definitely put it on him. And, because Micah doesn't need that type of, Wolverine's absolutely goated. If anything, Emmitt Smith was our Wolverine. So there you go. So anyway, like I said, as far as that, like I said, because a guy like Micah, since he's our team captain, like as far as defensive captain rather, like we don't need to, put that, make him that kind of a target, and like really, really need to make him that kind of a target for the other team, in terms of like, really neutralizing him. So I would say put the green dot on Van Der Esch. And so, but back to what we actually have right now in terms of what we're going to face against Cincinnati. Like I said, this is, since Cooper already knows the playbook, if you will. It's imperative for him to really, to really have a certain type of arm strength. So I believe he has, he definitely has a certain form of accuracy, but it's just in terms of having that support, in terms of the offensive line working on his behalf, unless he can pull some type of miracle like he did against the Vikings, unless he could do something like that, it's kind of tough to see what we're going to do against the Bengals, who just came off a Super Bowl season, if you will, almost. So I didn't want to take up too much time, but yeah.
You good, bro? No worries, man. We have a couple other people real quick. I'm gonna bring up as well. Don't go nowhere. You're good. Stay right here. Our guy, the Lunatic, in the building. Shout out to our guy, Lunatic. Gave away a couple of hats last Wednesday, Lunatic, and he was in the space as well. But also, I'm gonna tell y'all what. As a Cowboys fan, all right, let me lay out the carpet here for my girl. The worst thing you could happen to do in your profession as a Cowboys fan is have to be on the coverage that they love you so much on, right? Okay. That's where we're at there. But neither
Good.
here nor there is our girl Dia Wall is in the building. Dia,
What's up, y'all?
you heard the tone. Y'all already heard the tone.
How
It's
you doing, Miss
just
Dia?
what up, babies. Long story short, I live in Kansas City, which means I have been covering the Chiefs since Alex Smith was under center. And don't get me wrong, like this city's waited 50 years, right, to be at the pinnacle of the league, and they made it, and they still damn good.
Right.
And you know, the thing about it is, it's tough because I've been in Kansas City 7 years. I want to see this community thrive. A rising tide raises all boats. I've seen it with the Kansas City Royals. I've seen it with the Chiefs. I will never root against them unless there's a star across from them dudes. I do their fundraisers. I go to their events, right? I love the franchise. I love the team. The people are amazing. Like, I work with these folks. And then I'm on pre and post game. And
Right.
I'm forced is a strong word. I'm blessed because I still love NFL football, right? Like, I still love what I do. But like, I'm sitting here covering a team that top to bottom, y'all, from the ownership, recognizing coaching was weak, and they went out and got a dog in Andy Reid. Recognize, look, I'ma just write these checks and let this man do what he do. Andy Reid hired Brett Veach as a GM. Young, smart, aggressive. And they have talked openly about the fact that Veach was the one who said, hey, this dude Mahomes is going to be a dog. I think we need to go get him. I think we need to move up and get him. The Chiefs traditionally never moved up. They were not aggressive in the draft like that. You know, and so, like, you saw what happened in Tampa. The offensive line was bad. I mean, just aging is, you know what I'm saying?
And they were hurt. Yeah, right. They were hurt too.
They went and did some stuff in free agency. They drafted Creed Humphrey, who I freaking love. Like, then they said, oh, Tyreek gone? Okay, bet. Let's draft some folks. Let's get out here. Let's get in free agency. Let's bring some pieces in. They do everything in their power to improve. They don't get on there and say we trust what we got and who we got. Can't name the 53 on the roster. It is very tough, y'all. I am so happy to see Kansas City because this is a great town, y'all. Great people. I'm happy and proud to call it home. However, when I got to look at this fool ass mess we got on our, it is just so difficult. And I think for me, as a Cowboys fan, you know, you're raised in this tradition of like, I'm gonna drink the Kool-Aid. And I work for the organization, right? So you are kind of conditioned to view things through these rose-colored glasses. And we talk a lot about family, and we talk a lot about the organization, like all of that stuff. But like, you really start to see, I've been up close in 2 NFL franchises at this point. And I love Jerry Jones. He was an amazing boss, wonderful to work for. But like, when I sit back and I look at how Clark Hunt moved compared to how Jerry Jones moved, Clark ain't on the radio every week, breaking news before his head coach. You see what I mean? Like, there's just all of these things. Why on God's green earth would our owner be saying he talked to a reputable coach? And if he was talking about Jason Garrett, he done lost his daggone mind.
100% that's who it was. 100% that's who it was.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, and y'all, when I tell you, I feel so bad because Nix is like my part-time therapist, but I be on, man, our DMs, I just be like, bruh, it's pain. It's like a pain that I can't even, like, the Chiefs have not even been relevant. And to watch them laser focus in, and in every area they were weak become strong. And then look at my team. Y'all is sad, dog. It's a good thing I ain't got no problems, because they would drive you to drink.
Hey, Dia, let me ask you this question. And first and foremost, for those that don't know, a TCU alum, first and foremost, A or B then worked for the .com, DallasCowboys.com, that is. And then, of course, she was in my neck of the woods over here, KLTV, you know what I mean? And then jettisoned her way over there to some really good barbecue and in Kansas City.
Texas barbecue's better. Go ahead.
Oh, there it is. Okay, look. So you're jumping. I like that because that was one of my questions. That was one of my questions, D. I've been waiting to ask that for a while.
The barbecue here is excellent, but we like ours you know, you ain't gonna get no better brisket than.
There you
But my
go.
bad.
Brisket
My
song.
bad. My
All
bad.
right, no, that's okay. But here's number 2. Because you talked how you watch out as much as you love Jerry, you've been inside the building, right?
Yeah.
And you're there and you're covering. And as you mentioned our DMs, you're like, they wouldn't be covered. They love me so much they got to cover them all year. I don't know what to do.
Man,
Yeah.
it's hard.
So at any point in time, have you heard as you're in Kansas City, ownership, organization, local radio, the whole nine encompassing, have you ever heard, well, we paid the quarterback. We just can't do. I mean,
Hell
you know,
no.
we believe in him.
Hell
We
no.
believe in him.
Hell
Okay.
no. And you want to know why? Good organizations don't do that, right? And I say that because your job is you pay these people and you get out of the way. We are paying for the ego of 2 people right now.
Hey, real quick. Hey, go ahead and do what you got to. Hey, I was messing with you, Toxic. I saw you stand up. I was like, oh, he's standing up. Let me throw him on real quick. Now go ahead. Go ahead and do what you got to. I'll put you get it down when you
You're
come
good.
back. I got you.
But like, they have never, not one time, from the very beginning when they came out, they said, look, Mahomes structured his deal in a way. And that's another piece of it, right? They knew they was going to have to break this dude off. And Mahomes the kind of quarterback where you going to pay now, but today's price ain't yesterday's price. So they had to get the deal done. He also did it and structured it in a way where they don't pay heavily up front. They know the salary cap gonna go up year after year after year after year after year. So you're gonna have more money to play with. You're gonna have more room to get creative. So never on God's green earth. Now, fans here in Kansas City will say, well, they paid Frank Clark, they paid Chris Jones, and they paid this and that, right? But the ownership? Never. Patrick Mahomes, at one point for 15 minutes, was the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Not 14 minutes after that, they went and signed Chris Jones or Frank Clark. They tried to get a deal done with Tyreek Hill. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of paying the man if you're going to let him get his tail kicked every week? Like, literally, at this point, Dak Prescott might as well be throwing to me in Kansas City. Shoot. You knew Gallup wasn't going to be healthy. When they said, oh, we're going to let Amari Cooper walk, I was like, what? We remember what the offense looked like before he got here. And that doesn't mean that CeeDee Lamb is not great, but I'm telling you, you look at the difference between veteran leadership and a guy who's proven versus one who has something to prove. I just feel like it's completely unfair to put that level of weight on somebody that's still on their rookie deal. That's my 2 cents. That everybody want to talk about Zeke. Oh, Zeke making all his money. Zeke was looking good out there. Zeke been running strong. He looking healthy.
And they just stopped.
I'm sorry. I told y'all last season, Kellen Moore, what is our obsession with like below average quarterbacks? When I tell y'all I'm so frustrated, and I'm at the Chiefs season opening party with my homies, the people I work with all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, you can come on over. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't leave. Yo, I really feel like these Cowboys got me in an abusive relationship. And that's like really tough for me to say because
you know what they say, you know, what is it called? Stockholm syndrome. That's where we're at.
Stockholm syndrome.
No,
exactly.
It's just, I think it's that I admire fans in Kansas City so much because they rock with this team through 50 years of ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? And they know the day, because I just gotta hope and pray. That's sad that I pray to the good Lord that I live to see my boys at the summit. Okay. But when it happens, I'm gonna be the loudest, most ignorant. You ain't even go. But it's tough because I feel like the biggest difference. It is very difficult to look at a team that's consistently moving chess pieces on the board to make the best team they can and support the most important player on that team right now, which is who? 15 in Kansas City.
Right.
And they do everything in their power to make sure and everything else flows from that. And what bothers me, I think it's the difference between you looking at your quarterback or the leader of your team as an asset, something you need to protect and support, versus somebody who owes you something because you paid him a little bit of money.
And Dia, our guy in the chat, Aaron, from the 561 with the super chat of $9.99 says, "Preach." That's
It's
what he
hard,
was.
y'all.
Preach, dear.
And
You're
as
preaching out
fans-
here for the people.
Like as fans, man, we got to stop drinking the Kool-Aid, dog. Knicks, is this where you finally agree when I told you last season that McCarthy was a problem?
Well, you remember what I told you when it was the Sean Payton. Well, you remember what I told you when all the Sean Payton
I
stuff.
said I would
What
give
did
up my
say?
firstborn for Sean Payton.
Look, what I say. I said, rip the Band-Aid. Look, because we end up in a lame duck situation. I'm like, look, when all that stuff started happening, I said right then and there, I'm like,
yeah,
no,
you
look,
did.
Rip the Band-Aid if that's the
Especially with a
problem.
cat that you know got a reputation for being lazy, leaning his ass back. Oh Lord, y'all got me cussing on this Friday.
They can see your face. You're okay. They can't see your
Y'all,
face. You're fine.
I'm so stressed. Like, stress is horrible, right? So on Sunday, you know, I have to go in, y'all, every week because people be all coming at me on Twitter, and I'm like, first of all, one of these little Chiefs podcast people out here talking about the Chiefs are America's team now, and I said never. You hate us because you ain't us, and it doesn't matter what they do on the field.
Tell it.
So we're the only team in the league that everybody got an opinion about. Nobody cares about y'all. Y'all give us crap for not winning a Super Bowl in 26 years. You didn't win one for 50 and nobody gave a damn.
Right.
If you don't scuttle your ass on up over there. So I just, at the end of the day, my team got to do something so I can get my pride back, y'all. I'm out here getting killed.
Fair deal. Let me spin the block. We got our guy, the lunatic, up here. First and foremost, all right, and we also yes, and we
cursing evangelist.
Yeah, the cursing evangelist. Yeah, that is now your term moving forward. The lunatic's in the building. Toxic, the toxic one. Downey, burner account in the building, and of course the guy who just did drop the super chat, our guy, Mr. A.A. Ron. From the 561. So let me go in order here real quick. And what I want to do here is I'm gonna go through the guys that just came up, had a chance to speak, and then any questions for anybody on the panel or Dia, by all means. Lunatic, go right ahead, sir.
Next, Professor O, love the soundboard. Gotta get double soundboard there. Love all the talk. Cowboy Nation, share. Like and sub it up. This is what we need. We need to vent it out, get the frustration out. And for it, we were in the space there, Knicks. Remember, for the last 10 years, it's been Stephen Jones, not Jerry Jones.
Facts.
Jerry is taking all the arrows for Steve.
Facts.
So it is Stephen Jones, not Jerry. Jerry gave up the reins 10 years ago. So I understand the frustration, but congratulations, Samuel Rowe. You chose Diggs for that cap. It's going to be on the way this weekend. TC915, who Googled that answer there for the offensive coordinator during our first Super Bowl. But he chose Micah. It's going to be on your way there to El Paso. Hey, El Paso, Laredo, we got you, Texas brothers. But congratulations, there'll be more. The only issue I've been running into now, fans are telling me, stop supporting the Joneses and buy the merchandise. How can I buy giveaways and not buy the merchandise? I'm sorry. I'm in a conundrum. So I'm going to support the YouTube community by buying the merchandise and giving them out, spreading the love. And in this season, that's what we need. But yes.
Wait. Hold on, wait. Pause. Update. Do you have the sir? Are you handling the dadgum soundboard now?
Yes. That's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's back up.
Yes. Yes.
Cowboys Nation has spoken. I need that Whitney Houston and come on, you know.
I tried, but that was like the entire chorus last time. It was like 45 seconds long. But this one's for Dia because Dia came in ready to go. So this is for her.
Hold on. Remove there and then add her back. There we go. I got her back.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my thing.
You're good.
It's cool.
You're good.
It's cool.
You know,
so
Kansas
Dia
City
gets a clap and then she gets a.
Yes.
Let me spin the block. Over here. Took over my. No. Y'all complained, but now I was in charge. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Guys, Knicks went out of town for 1 week. I got control of the soundboard. I added myself to his StreamYard account. became an admin, just started going crazy,
It's
adding
our
new videos.
YouTube. No, it's our StreamYard. Don't. It's not mine. It's ours. Stop that.
It's a whole hostile takeover. You guys don't know in the back end. Just scooting them out. Scooting them out.
Hold on. My man just said the Cooper Rush doppelganger.
Yeah, that's Toxic Tom.
I know. I know who it is. I just like the name change real quick. Sir, how are we doing this Friday, my guy?
You know, I told you so. Just doesn't quite say it. Y'all better get your belts ready for that hopium because it's all you got. It's all you got. And if that's going to keep you warm at night.
That's not true. That's not true.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, that's not true.
We got Brett Maher.
My bad. Money Maher. Money Maher. 1 for 1, sir.
You know,
Money Maher. And then I got Micah Parsons. You shut your mouth. I have more than hopium. That's all.
I'm a Penn State alumni. I've run into Micah Parsons. I'm at the point right now, like everything Dia said, that times 10. Micah, if you can hear this, get the hell out of Dallas.
Whoa. Mute this guy right now.
I want you to have a career.
Hold on.
Don't waste this dude. Like, come on. I'm so tired of our guys getting wasted in Dallas. Wasted.
Soundbar me. Soundbar him somewhere with something here with this.
That's the truth.
Out of here. Oh my God.
What'd they do with DeMarcus Ware? Nothing. Tyron Smith. Nothing. Travis Frederick. Nothing. Tony Romo. Nothing. Like,
first of all, Tony wasn't savable. Somebody said mute the man.
He's from my home area with Sky. And I see a local guy from my area, and I don't know his family. I know people that know his family. Went to Penn State with the dude. Man, if Jerry Jones does him dirty like he does every other one else not named Tony Romo, like,
whoa. We got Miss Tom down here.
Yeah, that's my wife. I'm married.
I mean, look. I could never think that a wife. Anyway, outside a wife would have the same account name like that. Oh my goodness! Be nice, sir. You heard her. You're on the timeline now.
It's true.
It's there. You better be nice about Micah Parsons when you're trying to do the cat. Do you hear this over here?
Love Micah.
I do, but I'm gonna tell you right now.
Oh no.
I love Micah.
Oh no.
I think he is a freak of nature.
Oh, no.
But I could be lukewarm if he had another decal on that helmet. I am loyal to the Cowboys.
Okay, there it is. There, Professor O. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I was scared. Oh, I was scared.
I will tell you though, one of my favorite players of all time is DeMarcus Ware, and I understand, and it does hurt that you got to leave our franchise and go somewhere else to get a ring. But I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all, the problem is I ain't got no hope. Where the hope at?
Well, hold on. Well, he just said hopium.
Hopium.
You gotta get high on the hopium. No,
it's tough, man. Like, how do we turn it around? That's the question that I would pose to the panelists. How do we turn? Like, what keeps you optimistic that next season is going to be even better? Now, let me start with. I'll go first.
Sean Payton. Wait, Dia. We have 16 games. Wait.
Oh, this season's a wash.
Oh. Let's start there. Hold on, Dia. Let's start there. Let me pivot here. Matt O, is this season a wash? Before we play the Bengals, is this season a wash?
I don't think it's a wash yet, but it's definitely trending that way. I mean, we already have the head coach starting to, publicly start to blame stuff on Kellen Moore. Like, we're already seeing that breakup in the coaching staff from a media perspective. We're seeing Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones having a war of words where Mike says one thing, Jerry says the complete opposite 2 hours later in a different interview. So we're already seeing it start to unravel until Dak's back. And I guess really, I should say ultimately, depending on how long Dak's back or out for, I don't know that I can really say that it's washed. It's washed yet, but it's trending that way. Yes.
Spoonie, is the 22 season a wash?
Keep it real, Spoon. Don't be over here playing me.
I don't like the way it's heading at, but I do agree with PO. I'll say this: let's wait another week. Let's see how they respond come Sunday. If they're 0-2, then they come to New York and they become 0-3. Then I go from there. But I honestly, it is not looking good. at all. It really ain't. It
I
really
think
ain't.
here's the deal.
Well, Dia, hold on. Wait, Dia. Let me get through everybody. I'll let you get the word as soon as everybody answers. I got you. All right. Toxic Tom, your wife's watching. Be careful. Is this season a wash?
It's been a wash since February. Like, Dia's right. She's around it every day. She sees what a functional organization looks like, and she sees wrong. And she's like, well, why aren't they fixing this? I mean, this whole your off season builds into your regular season. If your off season is a dumpster fire, you expect it to just turn on and come on. Like, again, Kool-Aid and hopium. That's it.
Okay.
I hate to say it. Like,
all right, that's fair. Lunatic is the season a wash.
Vegas had us at 10.5 before the season. After Dak's injury, we went down to 6.5. Yes, it is, but it's not going to be Sean Payton time. It's going to be Dan Quinn time. And unfortunately, if Dorrance Armstrong continues to keep playing, Quinn is going to be the same thing as Mike.
Fair. All right. Well, we'll get over here to my guy King Vaughn. Is it a wash?
You know what? First off, depending on how we do against Cincinnati. But other than that, with the way the schedule's looking and where I'm seeing cracks in the foundation, it's starting to look like, especially once, with the division games and against the Rams, things like that, with the dysfunction between McCarthy and Jerry and Dak's injury, it ain't looking too bright either.
Okay.
So it's slowly but surely deteriorating and starting to become one. So
all right. It sucks because the next person I would have asked would have been AAA Ron, and he left.
He just sent me a message. He said his internet crashed. He'll be back on.
Okay. Go right ahead.
So before Dia goes, because I can just feel like it's going to be good. I just want to throw out there a couple things real quick. Yeah, go ahead, Nick. Of course. Okay. Of course. Yeah, it's my show now, but since I took over, I'll let you go.
I know. I appreciate you, O. And shout out to our guy Chris P with the super chat real quick. Says, I'm telling y'all, punt the season. Jalen Carter season. So our guy Chris P is already saying, yes, it's a wash. You know what? Go ahead, O. Actually, I'm sorry. It's your show. What am I doing? Go right ahead.
So I'll be quick. So Tom mentioned that you don't want to start out 0-2. Cowboys have been 0-2 7 times in our franchise history. 1993 was the only time we won the Super Bowl that year. Obviously, that's when Emmett held out. But it's the only time in our franchise history we started out 0-2 and won more than 6 games in the season. The other 6 times we won 6 games or less. So starting out 0-2 is not great, obviously. Puts you well behind the 8 ball. The only reason I'm still not saying it's a wash quite yet is because looking at our schedule when we were fully healthy, looking at the Bucs and looking at the Bengals as 2 of our first games, you could have made a good argument even fully healthy. We may have started out 0-2 potentially. So until we drop a game that we wouldn't have expected, like say the Giants game, that's when the season starts becoming a wash quickly for me. So right now I'm still maybe buying into the hopium, whatever. But realistically, I was saying I wouldn't call it a wash until we drop a game I'm not expecting them to drop. And if we lose to the Giants, then yeah, you can go ahead and plan for the next head coach.
The one thing about those 6 other times, it wasn't 17 games in the season. Let me get this hope. I'm down the hopium up. Right. I don't think it's a wash yet. Because I think in a lot of ways, what it turns into is simply this. And Bitter Sam, I see you in the back end. We'll get you up here in just a second. Is that I'm a firm believer for a long time. I'm old, ladies and gentlemen. I'm kind of old. You just don't know. I used to call it 4 quarters of the season. 17 games kind of messes up the math. But you just kind of know what teams are by week 4. Because, look, going into the season, the Bengals played against Mr. Trubisky. Would you expect them to lose? No. But things happened. My upset pick of the week last week, to my guy that likes to ask me betting stuff, but I'm not really a betting guy. I had Minnesota beating Green Bay, but a lot of people on the surface would be like, no way this happens. And of course, I don't think anybody on the panel thought that the Bears would beat the Niners. But it's early, right? It's early. Things are happening. Teams are finding their footing. And then by week 4, you kind of understand. And this kind of ties into what Professor O just said. There was a lot of people within the stratosphere that thought the Cowboys would start out 0-2 anyways, even full tilt, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, if we end up 0-2, and this is why Smooth's hedging his bets on his trip to Jersey for the Monday night game. If they lose a Giants game, sound the alarms. Yeah, at that point, I'm Gucci. It's a wash. Yeah, at this point. But it goes back to the simple fact, when we on this channel, we talked about this very early on, doing certain things and whatnot. It's simply this, is that you set this coaching staff up to be lamed up. And I mean the head coach, because of the post-season conference that happened, and then Jerry on the tirade on local radio, and then the Sean Payton things that happened. And it's like, what are we talking about? And I hope here's where my hopium was, sir. Here's where my hopium was. Once they made the pivot, it was going to be him. I was like, well, maybe it won't be. Maybe it won't be a lame duck coach situation. That's what I'm going to hope for. And after week 1, it kind of seems that way. But I'm not going to go all the way that far yet. I'm happy. It's Friday. I've been very much so pissed off all week. I've ran some terrible spaces. I apologize. Look, Wednesday's show, I was very salty. I think I literally, Spoonie, is that the most heated I've ever been in our 4th year now doing these shows? Was that the most heated I've ever been?
Yeah, for the most part. I'll be honest with you. It's maybe pissed off Knicks. Not sure your way. I mean, listen, we gotta be honest. And Miss Dio Ward, she's on point. We don't gotta repeat anything. She said everything for us. And that's being honest. I have no way to back them up. You can't. There are things that we have called all off season, and the only difference is that we saw it on the field with the results of an L. But it was worse than that. You have a lot of teams in the NFL who are dealing with issues, and you still got coaches who understand what to do. I mean, look at the Seattle Seahawks Monday Night Football versus Broncos. I guarantee you a lot of us picked Denver to win that game. Look at Seattle on paper. Now X, Y, and Z. They found a way for Geno Smith, a journeying backup quarterback, been on multiple teams. They helped them find a way to win a game. When does head coaches have to call out an OC in the press conference? Never really had to, but I understand my McCarthy situation. Everybody's putting the blame on him.
Right.
Jerry Jones takes all the bullets for his son. Son can never do any wrong, and Jerry Jones loves it. Matter of fact, Professor O put on there on Wednesday when he came out, when Jerry said the most important thing is the media talks about the Cowboys. That's what he cares about. Well, he got that. That's for him. What about us? What do we want? You understand? I mean, BJ, you say you're getting old. I'm right there behind you. I ain't too far. I mean, my God, the last time we ever did anything, we had beepers. I had a throw with a pick.
I might have had that. Yeah.
I mean, come on. A lot of us had a throw with a pick. A lot of us had Jerry curls. I mean, let's keep. McDonald's had a commercial. McDonald's was a 5-star restaurant at the time that I can remember. When you went to McDonald's, oh my God, you was the man of the block. So that's a very long time ago. As fans, we spend money, we travel. This is what we are not this team because of what we do.
Go ahead, Dia. Go ahead, Dia. Dia. Hold on, Dia.
Hey, Nix, if I could interject.
Go for it.
That's why you got to get on the Twitter space before our Friday night streams, because you had, what was his name? Johnny Bengal?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to ask him, because let me ask you a question. Who had a longer Super Bowl drought, the Cowboys or the Bengals, before last year? I remember seeing them in the Super Bowl with Sam Weish as head coach, Boomer Esiason as a quarterback, Ickey Woods against the Niners. They hadn't made it before then. And the Bengals are a family-run organization, the Browns. And I was going to ask him, look, what do you think happened that told the Browns, you know what, we need to step back. We are still the owners, but we aren't football people. It's evident, being called the Bungles by every network and everybody has proven that. What made them step back and say, let's get football people in here and let them run that organization? And can we see something like that with the Joneses? That was my question for Johnny Bengal. And I just wondered, because he gave us some great points about, his offense and his defense. And yeah, I'll be honest, I expect a 24-9 Cincinnati win. 0-2, not the first time I've seen an 0-2 start for our Cowboys, but I always want to look at, okay, but what can you build off it?
Yeah, I don't. What can you build off of it, Dia? What can you build off of the Cowboys go out here and lay another egg? Outside of a wash.
Oh my God, y'all! Not a damn thing, Nick. That's the answer. Okay, like here's my issue, right? Spoonie said it. All we got to do is keep talking about them, right? We have the same problem the Chicago Bears have. We profitable as all get out. Win, lose, drop. They could go 0-17. The Cowboys will still be the most valuable franchise of any sport in this country.
World. We are the
Manchester
most
United
in the world.
Manchester United is more valuable.
No,
we're $8 billion over Manchester United.
We're not. We're over Manchester now. Yeah. How crazy is that?
But the problem becomes, I mean, they just not worth my love like that. Like, and I will tell you, I think the hardest part, the season, I feel, unless they came out with a certain level of, Nick, you went back. Well, first, let me back all the way up. Professor O, I always appreciate the stats, the facts, the figures. So y'all better put some respect on this name. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of work, a lot of poise, and a lot of intellect to put that together 100%. Week to week. So I salute you on that. Now, thank you. Nick, you're insane.
Soundboard, O. Soundboard for yourself. Go ahead.
Yeah. I like it.
All right. Clap. Let's go with
what you got for yourself? Come on.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get it up. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go.
Yes, I love it. Nick, we don't know what teams are by week 4. At week 4, the Cowboys last season had the number 1 team in the NFL. I mean, number 1 offense in the NFL. Mm-hmm. They were rolling through the first 8 weeks of the season. I'm a firm believer you don't know what you got till about December. The year the Giants won the Super Bowl, somebody commented that they didn't have the best. First of all, they got hot late. That's the key. And they stayed healthy through the full 16-week season back then. My issue is this, y'all. The whole way, we got the same issues today that we had at the end of last season. There's no discipline, poor coaching, no energy. Let's just start there. If I say those are my 3 biggest issues, then in the off season, we took our personnel from a A- B+ to a C+.
Dia didn't watch the Wednesday show. She's about to get me there. Go ahead, Dia. All right. For those that wasn't here for Wednesday, y'all about to see it again. Go ahead, Dia.
Oh, I'm ready. But my thing is this. They lose these 2, and I can get with you. Okay, maybe they turn around. But what's going to be the catalyst that's going to turn them around?
There's not one.
There's not one.
There's not one. There's my look. That gummit. Oh.
And it's hard, right? Now,
we literally, Stephen Jones literally said, 12-5, all this good shit that was going on in the whole 9. Never mind. I'm going to strip it. This has been my biggest point the entire time. We're in the situation that we're in currently right now, not because we were cash strapped, not because injuries before week 1, none of that. They literally offensively they chose to do this. Absolutely. And they didn't do anything on the back end. This is the reason why I am
for a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
There you go.
The Popeye, don't disrespect the Popeye chicken.
It was less than that. It was less.
Spicier mild.
Oh man.
But I'm just
feel me?
saying, like, to my point though, the greatest issue that I have is, number one, if we getting Sean Payton, go get his ass from his house right now. Go get him.
Justin Garrett.
Boyd, you bet not with. Oh my God, we wasted a decade. But like, I'm just
DJ.
saying, y'all. Like, real talk.
Go ahead,
Y'all made.
Hey,
Bruce,
you can.
Dia, that's not
you can
to
boo
be
it.
clear. That's the
No,
no, bringing up Jason Garrett.
No, you can
you can boo me anytime.
but-
Y'all know I
no,
got
no.
thick skin.
No, you
No,
can boo me.
Dia, that's
But
the
I'm seeing it right now. There's literally people on Twitter talking about, man, we should just bring Garrett back. I literally seen it in my mentions.
But here's my thing. Bruce talking about Dak didn't have his best game. He was getting the living crap beat out of him every single play. Here's my whole thing. You literally let our best offensive lineman just roll out. Poor little Tyler. You know, he did all right. I wasn't too upset. For him to be a rook out here having to play left tackle. I will also note last season I said we need to move on from the Tyron Smith experiment, but everybody talked about me like I was crazy. But my only point is, if we not going to go fire McCarthy like in the next 2-3 weeks and bring Sean Payton in, the best possible thing that can happen for the Cowboys is for us to get completely embarrassed and disinterested.
Oh, well, see, look, I'm gonna tell you what, and look, in our back channels, and I said this, and I do mean this. I was tongue in cheek earlier, but I really do mean this, and I'll spin the block on this, because there's been a lot of different things that have happened over the years, the Kool-Aid and everything and whatever. You know what? We should organize. Now follow me for a second, because you brought up the point. The tickets are gone. They're paid for. They're done. The money's in the pocket. Here's what I would say would be this. For those that have the tickets already, if it goes left, and we can pick a home game around week 8, 9, 10. No, it can be 9 because it's the bye week. But you pick a home game, right? And those in Cowboys Nation that have their tickets already, it'll take a monetary hurt. It would. Don't sell your ticket. Do not sell your ticket. And what you do is we'll go to the stadium and tailgate and have a good time. And when it's time to go in the stadium, we leave and we go to the Star during the game, and the stadium's empty. And we, a little bit of a protest, if you will. You go to the Star in Frisco, and look, if you want to donate some of your gear back or whatever, maybe have a sign or whatever. Yeah. And during the time, burn the jerseys even. And during the time that game's going on and that stadium's empty, you're at the Star, that moves the needle all of a sudden, because
Can I give you
the
a
money's
game
already
too?
paid. Do what?
Do it on Thanksgiving. Do it on Thanksgiving. Oh. It's a nationally televised game. All of America watches football as a tradition.
There it is.
That's the game. If you do it, that moves the needle. And it's against a division rival.
There it is.
If you're gonna do it on Thanksgiving.
And that's what we have to do. I'm gonna start it right here, right now. If this thing really goes left, and look, I think we all outside of hopium, sir. Outside of my guy outside of the hopium, once it goes left, though, like that has to happen, because nothing else is going to work. Because if you're tuning in, they win. If you sell your tickets, they already got the money for the tickets. As we were talking earlier, they already have the money for the tickets.
Yeah, the people that are getting hurt now are those aftermarket people that bought the tickets that are now trying to flip them. The Jones already got their money. Those season tickets sold. Those individual games tickets are gone. Now it's the people that have the tickets that are trying to make their money back.
Don't sell your ticket. Hold it, because we'll go to lot 10 and we will throw a banging party and have fun. And then when it's time to go to the game, we move forward and go to the Start, and we do that. That's what has to, like, a movement that way to show and do has to happen. And that's what we have to look at and kind of move forward, because all the other things that we talk about, because we've heard about don't buy. Look, for years, don't buy the merch, don't buy the ticket. Look, people are going to buy the tickets. Doesn't matter. You have to go to the next level. And it just in general, that's the way that you get something. You send a message. Whether it does, I'm not going to say it's going to change anything, but I think the right message, and shouts to with the Thanksgiving because that's historic for the Cowboys against the division rival. If this thing goes left, we had to organize and what we had to look at and go forward. And I promise you, I'll work it on the back end. Anybody wants to come work with me on the back end, we'll do it. If we get to week 7, 8, 9, and we're like, okay, this is the wash that we think it's going to be, at that point, we had to start delivering the info and do stuff and try to make it move that way.
I think naturally BJ is going to happen next offseason.
I don't
automatically.
No, that's the problem.
No,
we've been waiting for it to happen.
No. I'm not saying wait. I'm just saying it's going to happen regardless because if they keep the same staff around when the tickets go on sales for the season ticket holders, you got to start the payment by April. So by April, we're gonna know what the staff look like. That's gonna be the issue where they're gonna come out. No, I'm not saying it started.
We gotta
then.
start before then.
No, but I'm not saying it started then. What I'm saying is it's gonna happen naturally because what happened this year, you're gonna have a lot of season ticket holders be like, you know what, we lost our money. It's a wash. A lot of fans are not gonna want to buy our tickets unless you're coming and visiting and X, Y, and Z. So when the payments go out next year, a lot of these people are gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna sell my license. I'm not buying it, and it's gonna happen. And unless we go with Ms. D Award and what you said, BJ, with Sean Payton, that's a whole new different conversation. But I'm with you. I'm starting it this year, but I think naturally, if we even hear at Kellen Moore as a head coach or the same staff coming back, people are gonna be like, you know, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. It's done.
I don't think they got enough. No, they're not doing that. They know better.
No. Again.
I just want to point out to you guys, the Dia already called our season a wash, but she drew the line when we brought Rowdy into it. Rowdy was what set her over the top. Everything else, she was like, yes, boycott Thanksgiving, embarrass the Jones, but Rowdy saved. So,
hey, Rowdy ain't got nothing to do with this here now, y'all.
Dia.
I mean,
he's the curse. He's the curse.
Yo, I desperately.
Dia.
Yes.
Hold on. I'm going to let Professor O explain to you why Rowdy's a problem.
Why is Rowdy a problem?
All right, so the facts of the matter was Rowdy became the official team mascot in 1996. Coincidentally, right after we won our last Super Bowl. We did not win a playoff game until 2009. Coincidentally or not, Rowdy was not a part of the team that year. From 96 to 2008, we did not win a single playoff game with Rowdy. 2009, Rowdy's not there. We win a playoff game. I'm just saying it's Rowdy. He's got to go. Or at least something's got to change about him. He needs a new number.
You done lost your
look.
mind.
He's got to go. Rowdy's got to go.
It's factual, though. It's
that
factual,
ain't right.
Dia.
Yo, that's like saying don't wash your drawers for the whole season. Leave Rowdy.
That's not true.
Rowdy is out here making hospital visits, spreading joy for the people.
Oh, man.
Hey, guess what?
He can still do that. It just doesn't have to be the official mascot. He could do that in like a different capacity.
How do you know he didn't put them in the hospital?
Community outreach guy or
hate to break
something.
to you,
Yeah.
our lack of a competent, smart, aggressive general manager and a qualified, energetic, competent head coach. That is the issue.
I mean, they're like even.
Here's the deal. Everything else, we done had personnel. We done had some banging teams, y'all. Like that 07 team, I was there. That 07 team, it was like, oh, okay. Y'all, we've literally had future Hall of Famers on the squad. We wasted Jason Witten's whole career. It is not the personnel. It ain't the mascot. It ain't the cheerleaders. It ain't the hole in the roof. It's the fact that they will not let go and go get us a daggone head coach and GM. Those are the two things that we have not had just about my whole life. And somebody else said, well, we need to go get another playmaker. We don't have playmakers. I would put Jason Witten's career almost minus the championships on par with Michael Irvin's. We don't have Jimmy Johnson. That's what we ain't got. I'm sorry. My pressure is high.
I want to actually, BJ, if I mind, if you mind me asking this to everybody, because we're ready to, let's just say season is a wash, and we end up with a top 5 pick. Now, this is where I'm going mentally. Are we drafting another quarterback?
Oh,
I mean, let's be. I mean, no, I'm not saying. I'm not saying our choice, not our choice. But do you think the front office is thinking that? Not our choice. Do you think the front office is thinking that?
Oh,
Because remember, anytime you're in the top 5, Dak's contract is on the outs in 23.
All right, cool. Let's spin the block, Vaughn, and then we get to Toxic over here.
We talking about as far as us having a drafted quarterback
with the Cowboys.
Yeah, not your choice. Do you think they're doing it? Not your choice. I don't want to make it where we're debating Dak.
Now, if you're doing that, I wouldn't say that they're gonna be necessarily drafting a quarterback per se. They may want to look for another receiver, just because of the fact that we lost a veteran like Amari Cooper, and that's putting even more unnecessary pressure on a guy like CeeDee Lamb, and that's just everything's just zoning in on him. But so much as far as a quarterback, not right now at this point. But also to go back to Dia's main points is the fact that our GM system is just is just down the drain. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that management, they're their own worst enemy at this rate. You know what I mean? So that's why. So like I said, we're not changing no mascot or anything like that. I don't care if we get Woody if possible. But the thing about it is that like the main thing is our GM structure. But as far as drafting a quarterback, not this time right now.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, the GM structure is never going to change. It's Stephen Jones until he dies. So, Toxic.
Yeah.
Is it a quarterback if the Cowboys are picking high, top 5?
I really hate this question because I really like Dak Prescott.
You blame Spoonie for this question.
It's a very good question, and I hate we're having this discussion.
It's only week 2, and here we are. Oh,
I think this is I think ever since Dak Prescott put his feet in the sand and asked for market value, there's been a rift between him and the Jones. So do I think that if I got to see how this season plays out, because if he comes out and he plays healthy and he makes them and gives them a chance to win, I'm going to lean towards no. However, if Dak doesn't come back healthy and doesn't play well, the Jones have already made it public that it doesn't matter. You could have, Comcast workers or, Costco workers of the other 10. Dak Prescott is supposed to magically make everyone better. And no matter what happens, it's his fault. And they've thrown him under the bus and thrown his money under the bus multiple times. So do I think that if the season doesn't go well and Dak doesn't play well with Catboy, yeah, I could see that definitely being discussed, if not just for publicity, but also to get that passive aggressive jab towards Dak Prescott as well. Look, I mean, they do it to look how many guys are on coming back from injuries right now. Like, quit passively aggressively telling Michael Gallup when to come back. He's back when he's back. Right. And they do these little things all the time, and they start bringing these players in like this. And they already said the quarterback's most important position. So, yeah, I could definitely see them, if this season goes poorly, them entertaining the idea, especially publicly, that we're looking at a quarterback. And I hate saying that.
Right. Yeah.
10-4. Real quick. Aaron finally, internet, it was down, it was up, it was left, it was right. But the cell phone's working for him. But we can't hear him. He didn't give access. Didn't give access to the mic. We'll figure it out soon. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. He's trying to figure it out. Maybe. Oh, he so struggle. Super struggle for our guy. Super struggle. Bruce got the toxic juice. Is in the building.
Up,
as
Bruce?
Our guy Aaron figures it out. Oh, okay.
All right, cool.
Hey, shout out to Bruce. Shout out to Bruce. Perfect. Hey, Bruce showed up. Hey, y'all got me on? Bet. All right, I'm out. As Aaron's going to the back end. I'm going to pivot to, as we're talking about, obviously today, from the Mike McCarthy press conference to the local radio in, 105.3 The Fan with Stephen Jones and, of course, Jerry Jones and what was happening there. I'll spin the block this way, and I'm gonna start with my guy Bruce. He's back now.
Oh, there we go.
Today,
hey, what's up?
Doing good, brother. How you doing?
All right.
That part. What I will say is simply this, or ask this. You heard Steven and Jerry. I'm going to guess you heard Steven and Jerry throughout today. Their drops and everything from their radio interviews, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the one thing out of either one? I'm gonna go all the way around the block here for everybody just to see what stuck out. What was the one thing from either one? Just one thing. Don't pick one to go down the line. Anybody. Just what's the one thing from either one of their
biggest thing that
they said
stuck out to me was that I heard blame for everybody but Kellen Moore, to be honest.
Okay.
And of course, the front office taking any accountability directly. Like Stephen Jones especially went down the line position by position. Mm-hmm. And they set this season up to look like this. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. Mm-hmm. Like just in general, like I've been looking at undrafted and late round dudes, and we was getting sold all kind of hype Kool-Aid, but I tried to shake the feeling more than anything. This felt like a red shirt season.
Right. Yeah, and as I always talk about leading up to the regular season, it's honeymoon season. Boy, the honeymoon came crashing Sunday night. I'm gonna go bottom to the top around the way. Dia, the one thing that you heard from today from the Snips, or if you tuned in from Steven or Jerry on the radio at 105.3 The Fan, what's the one thing that stuck out to you that they said today?
The biggest thing for me is, the head coach needs to be better.
Okay.
He is what he is. We've been looking at the same fool mess this whole time. And so right. I think, and then as soon as they come out and say he need to be better, then all of a sudden the offense ain't really on him. Look, it's literally a shell game of who's responsible for this foolishness. That's all I got.
10-4. Vaughn, the number one thing from either interview today that stuck out to you?
For me, it was just a lot of finger pointing. Whether it was with the coach, whether it was whether it's on the offense, anything like that, except for taking their own sort of accountability. Mind you, both of them have massive egos, and apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Because I will say this is the same Stephen Jones that didn't even want to have Deion Sanders on the team.
There, choke daddy out. Try to.
There you go. You know what I mean? So and plus the thing about it is that like I said, these are the same type of same guys, owner and GM who blow their own horn. Whereas just as Diaz said earlier, the difference between them as and the Hunts from Kansas City, how they're not going everywhere, placing blame on everybody and things like that. So really, overall, it's just a lot of finger pointing and lack of accountability.
10-4. I'm gonna continue to the lunatic on that question. Oh, you want to address that or no?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Spoon, you want to address it or no?
No.
Okay. All right. Say less. All right. Lunatic, number one thing from the Joneses today on the radio. What you think?
I've got to concur with the other panelists. It's the lack of accountability. Jerry going after CD, saying, it's an NFL. You got to do this. Blah, blah, blah. How about scheming it? How about your boy, your golden child there, Kellen, providing for a better scheme? You got Steven saying, all this. Hey, you looked at your offseason moves and thought to yourself, I did the best job I could do. As an example, Gettleman is no longer there with the Giants because he put all his eggs with Danny Turnover Dimes. And it cost him his job. Accountability. You have to have the fear that if I don't do my best, I'm going to lose my job. And Jerry himself said it. If a GM had the track record that we had in the last, they would not have the job. Unfortunately, they do. And yet again, they remind us they're not getting fired. They're coming back next year. And they're going to build a roster their way without their share of the pie. And we got to pay Dak $40 million and all that stuff. But lack of accountability is all I hear.
10-4. Now I'm Cooper Rush.
Not to piggyback off everybody else, but complete delusion.
Mm.
They sound like parents that are divorcing but haven't yet gone to court. Like they're arguing over the mayonnaise jar that's already expired. It's a mess. And it's just I piggyback what I think Professor O said about having coaches and GMs is equal to me. And now, when I was 18, I joined the Army, so leadership means everything to me. You set the tone at the top, and it trickles down. And when your tone at the top is bullshit, and it's this level of finger pointing and pettiness, it's going to trickle down all the way to Rowdy, to the concession stand workers. It just, when you're in a toxic culture, it just festers. And when you hear them going on live radio, bitch and moan about, well, this person did this, what an absolute loser mentality. Like, just, if you're going to brag you're America's team, don't disrespect America like that anymore, because America likes winners. Like, get with it. Like, do they still use Windows 95 there? No? Then why is your playbook still in Windows 95? Like, get with it and modernize. Like, come on.
Exactly.
Like, I'm with Dia. Like, what is it going to take other than death, jail, or a scandal to get something that's going to make some change here?
Mind you, this is the same Jerry Jones who I think he went on the radio, at least in another interview, who clearly said while Jimmy was still on the sideline, saying I could pick anybody else to be the coach of the Cowboys and we could still win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
So,
Here's the thing, Vaughn. He did.
He did. But
unfortunately,
was Jimmy's team. Watch your mouth.
I know, fair. No, it's fair. I'm just saying.
Tell him, dude.
And that maybe a little bit part of the problem. Let me spin. Spoonie, Steven or Jerry, both their interviews. Well, the number one thing that stuck out to you.
Well, after I had a napkin to wipe the blood out of my ear, they both were just bullshitters. I mean, be honest. I mean, listen, you gotta be honest.
But you got to pick one.
I'm gonna go with Stephen Jones. He's the one who's been running this team. So, I mean, listen, we got to be honest. We watch TV shows. We watch a lot of mystery stuff and everything. And actions speak louder than words. The action is what tell you the story, not the wording. What's the action so far? No heavy investment around Dak Prescott. What does that mean? You want him to fail. You kept on targeting Dak's contract as the reason why you can't build. Look what's going on right now. So I take what Dia said today, everything 110%. I take what Jesse Holly said a couple of weeks ago, right? And look at the results of what Stephen Jones has done with his team this offseason. What does it all add up to? A new direction. And that's just being honest. We hate to talk about it. People are going to get targeted. It's not saying we don't want Dak here. Everybody here loves Dak. But I'm telling you right now, it's a straight crap. BJ, we at the game. As you told the fans right around us, who the hell has a Noah Brown as a damn number 2 wide receiver on the roster? No other team would allow that shit. So, again,
our number 3, Dennis Houston, would not make a 53-man roster for any other team in the league. Seriously, that was our number 3 opening day.
But people didn't. For today, any of the quotes from Stephen or Jerry, what's the one that stuck out for you? Oh,
come on. So I'm gonna go with Jerry. He was on 105.3 and said, "We used to have fans call in, and I'd answer a question. I'd be mad too. I'll tell you right now, the best way to get something done is to have that question come straight to me. These fans know I'll never sell the team. I sure would welcome that segment. I live with it every day. Let me say this. I'm so sensitive to our fans. I will tell you, you look around and see the rehiring and shuffling out general managers on top or shuffling out coaches. I haven't seen that to be the secret to success in the league. Could not disagree with them anymore.
Thanks.
For obvious reasons, because if you're a GM and you don't own the team, your job is in jeopardy if you have a lack of playoff success, if you make a bad investment in free agency, if you draft poorly, if you make a bad coaching hiring decision, any of those scenarios, can cost you your job. So when you're making these moves, you start getting a sense of urgency because you're like, hey, we had 2 bad seasons in a row. I need to fix this or I won't be here after this year. So you make more aggressive moves. You put the chips in. You don't just continuously say, we'll punt till next year. We have some cap space. We have players we need to sign down the road because you're saying, I don't know if I'll be here down the road. How do I invest this $20 million into this team so I can save my job so I'm here next year and then I'll worry about it at that point? So, no, that's not accurate at all to say that that's not successful around the league because every other team has a GM that's not the owner of the organization. And all 31 of those teams know that they have an expiration date as GM if they don't succeed. We are the only team that faces a different outcome than anybody else because of that. So while you're not having any fear of losing your job, you're not going to react the same way. So the fact that he would make that comment after saying, I'm sensitive to our fans, and I would love you guys to ask me questions, and there's no better way to get things done than to ask me questions, as if nobody in the fan base or media has ever said, hey, Jerry, why don't you spend more money? Hey, Jerry, why don't you become a little bit more aggressive? Hey, Jerry, why don't you make some trades? He hasn't had anybody ask that question. He's just told us the best way to get it done is to ask him that question. I have a very hard time believing nobody's asked him any of those questions for the last 20 years.
I gotta say, I would love for Toxic Tom to be the one to give him, like, if he ever start a call-in show or a hotline, Toxic Tom should be the one to make that call.
They won't do it. They won't do it. They won't do it. They'll scream the cause. Oh no, never mind.
We can set up a GoFundMe for my boy. Get his bond money and all of that. But like, get Toxic Tom on the line.
My first question is, how dare you? That's my first question.
And for me, like I'm with that was my number one. That was my number one. Whenever he said, yeah, sure, they can call in, blah blah blah. Oh, yeah, but I'm never going to sell the team. You know what I mean? So I'm going to pivot to my number two. I'll pivot to my number two. Man, Steven said, we spend every dime on the cap. That's what he said. They spend every dime on the cap. I don't know what to tell y'all. We spend the money. And it's just so like, it's man, the biggest thing that I've been on for this past week, and I'm going to reiterate it again. Sorry, I'm beating the dead horse here. Don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. Don't do it. Because you're not spending the money. You're not spending the money. I'm sorry. You haven't been spending the money because every single time what you tell us is simply this. We paid the quarterback. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, we paid the quarterback. Dia, how much they pay Patrick Mahomes?
$50 million a year. 10-year deal.
Man, the Juju, 10 mil here. Go get Scanley. Oh, here a little money here. Oh, wait. When the offensive line was bad. Oh, yeah. So draft your guy. Oh, let's go spend the assets. Go trade for a brother.
Don't forget the salary cap hit. Don't forget the salary cap hit this year. It's only $19 million for Dak. Not even the 40.
Exactly. And they did the same. They structured Mahomes the same way. My biggest frustration is that it ain't about any of this. Somebody asked, what difference is Sean Payton going to make?
I got an answer for that. Dia. I do have an answer for that, Dia.
I swear though, it's like the Jones could sell BS to a manure factory.
Snake oil. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go, Bruce. Snake oil. Bro, whenever Jerry came up, that's why I had to take time. Because as soon as they came out, they talked about 6 to 10. It was like, 8 to 10, then 6 to 8 when we were talking about Dak, whatever the case may be, right? It was simply this. Then Jerry came out. Oh, no, he started spinning it. And I'm like, okay, wait, let me look. Let me see what's going on. Is it snake oil? Is there something there to it? And you go through these different constructs or whatever the case may be. It's weak. I just want to remind everybody in the chat, everybody here on the panel, we're not like halfway through the season, ladies and gentlemen. You feel me? We're not 6 games in. We've played one. Hit me with the hit me. We played the one. We played one. No, come on, soundboard, do it.
I'm waiting. I don't know which one you want me to do.
I'm about to
have it pulled up. Oh, my bad. All right, hold on. I'm ready. Go.
I'm about. We only played one. No, okay. Yeah, all that. Yep, all that. Yeah, all of it. All of it. We
Needs
played
more
one
cowbell.
game, and here we are. we have ran the gambit of wash to this to that, the third, the whole nine. We've done all of that. We haven't played the Bengals yet. Within a couple of days, we got to play the Bengals, right? And here we are. And we literally had, for context, I'm big on context. We had the Joneses. That's why I asked the question. We had the Joneses out here today with the dichotomy of everything they said.
Follow him right now.
And it's like, what are we doing? Like, wash or not, like the thing. Well, we spend the money. Oh, well, I'm never selling the team. Bro, it's week 1. Whenever you ever heard Jerry Jones says, I'm never selling the team, ever in his entire career, have you heard that?
Not in a long time.
Just
Jerry's
think about it though. His direct quote was, "We used to do a call-in segment where people would ask me questions. I'll never sell the team though." What does it have anything to do with the call-in segment? Like the fact that that's what's on his mind, that he knows the first question I'm going to get on the call-in segment is, "Why don't you sell the team?" Like that, he gets
because
it.
He knows and understands what's going on. He knows the back. End of the day, he doesn't need to be on ESPN 105.3 to know what's being said about the decision making. He's getting it off there. And that's the crazy part. He understands y'all messing. He's doing all the talking. Stephen Jones ain't really coming out and really saying much unless it's the interview. Jerry's has been the most vocal one. He know his son's fucking up. Excuse me, Miss Wall. His son is messing up, and that's the problem. The fame. This is social media era. There's nothing to hide. There's no secrets. We've been calling this thing since the summertime. So the results is the first game of the season. Again, Noah Brown, Dennis Houston. So you mean because you paid Dak Prescott all that money, you can't afford nobody else? We can't bring in a number 2 just to get by this week until Gallup comes back. We can't do none of that. Now, don't get me wrong. The season could turn around by Sunday. It could turn. Can it turn around? Of course it can. But here's the problem. Everybody in this panel, everybody who's supporting us, watching our show right now, is the word trust. We do not trust them because every time they have said something, well, McCarthy, well, I'm gonna be involved in Kellen Moore's offense. That was after the playoff. What's today? Well, I don't know the playoffs, but I don't know the playbook. But at the end of the day, you got to coach smarter. I thought that's the freaking reason why you was part of it, McCarthy. That's the reason why. That is the reason why. I don't get it. What's the problem? Hey. It's very simple. Why does it take for you? If you can't fire Kellen Moore, if you can't take his playbook, man up and have accountability. Turn his ass off. That's all it is. That's the problem. That is the problem. There's no accountability. And it sucks.
And simply this, whenever shout out to my guy from Blogging the Boys, RJ Ocha, had tweeted out that Steven Joseph said, we spend every bit of our cap at the end of the day. And look, low key, and I quote tweeted it. And I was like, man, why sit here and bold-faced lie? And I really do believe this at a certain point. I really do. I really believe this. We literally just have to realize that Stephen Jones is just out here trolling us. I'm just being honest with y'all, because I go back to not this past year's draft, the year before, after round 2, he was like, well, we just tried to get that safety, but we could. I was like, at that point, I was like, is this dude trolling us? Because we were doing the live stream, we were on very late, we were talking about it. Stephen Jones says things just in general because it don't matter. Would you say no accountability, right?
None.
Hey, man.
Hey, BJ, that phone call we had a couple of years back with the Minka Fitzpatrick trade.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Do you remember the trade offer that Stephen Jones, it came out what he offered?
Yeah, it was a second-round pick in Taco.
Now, let's be honest, y'all. What's about Minka Fitzpatrick? We see what he's doing in Pittsburgh. Taco Charlton.
Reggie, I try to tell him it's not 1995 no more, Reggie. I've been saying it's not 1995.
Come on, man. Come on.
Go ahead, Spoon. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off,
I feel bad for people like Miss Dia. She's a Cowboy fan, but she's in KC. you're seeing a hometown go to work to make sure that franchise. We didn't hear, oh, well, we pay Mahomes all this money. So no, they got Juju, they got MVS, they drafted Sky that's P.O.'s boy. They drafted him. They make sure. Yes, we let go. Yes, we let go of Tyreek Hill. Yes, we did. But guess what? We spent money to get him some type of insurance to make sure he's good, right? And what's the results? We're talking about 2-0. That's how you do for your quarterback. You don't sit there and go, well, I like to draft a guy. He's having a hell of a camp. They got no experience. Your number 2 receiver has been the 4th receiver for the past 5 years. What did he do to earn it? Oh, I know what he did. He just moved up the ladder because the other guy just left. That's it? So how is that you loving Dak? I don't believe it. Listen, you know what? F it.
Oh.
People could troll me. You could unfollow me. I'm saying it right now.
And
that's a hot take.
Man, get the organ. Get the organ out.
Right now. If they have a losing season, Dak Prescott would not be the quarterback. Not because I don't like him. I loves him. I loves Dak. The organization wants to move on from him. You go videotape it, copy. That's my hot take. Because you don't do that to your franchise quarterback. You just don't. I don't care what's being said. They don't believe him. They don't want him. You just like Toxic came out and said, you don't keep talking about this man's pocket. His man's pocket has nothing to do with you surrounding him to win this game. You have cheated all the fans with the bullshit coming out your mouths. That's what happened. Let's be honest.
I have a quick
totally
question.
And I apologize, Ms. Dia, for the cussing everybody, but I'm just keeping a buck. They don't believe in Dak Prescott. I don't care.
All right.
To me, you just don't.
Go ahead.
All right, so our guy Eddie O had the comment that kind of sparked this question for the panel. You can give me a 1 word, a couple words, a sentence, whatever you want. So he says McCarthy will be the scapegoat. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone by week 12. They'll hush the noise by week 12 and say this isn't good enough, and McCarthy is gone. My question to you guys, obviously things are subject to change. You don't have to put it in ink, but as of right now, starting with Knicks, we'll go around. Do you think McCarthy is here by week 12? Or do you think he's here until week 12, or do you think he's gone before then?
Oof.
Essentially, we'll change the question.
Yeah, I got you.
Does he make it to the end of the season? Does he make it to the end of the season?
Yes no, I got you. No, week 12. Yes, I'm gonna go. Yes.
Okay, Spoonie.
No.
Okay, Tom.
Hell no. Wade Phillips 2.0.
Yep.
Okay, the lunatic.
No, because you got Dan Quinn right there on the wings.
Okay, Vaughn.
No. At least
Dia.
12.
Dia. Oh, Dia. Did you go to sleep, Dia?
We'll come back to her. Space Cowboy, welcome to the show. Happy to have you here. First question.
How we doing, guys?
Going with the banger right away. Does McCarthy make it to the end of the season? Yes or no?
You said week 12. Did you change the question?
I did change it.
Oh, okay. So is the question, does he make it to the end of the season?
Yes.
That's what you asked me.
I changed it. It's cool.
You know,
he makes it
because I think he makes it, and the problem is my brain's going 2 separate ways because I've seen this go to I've seen a team where we've lost a quarterback and they stuck with the head coach, and I've seen a team where we lost the quarterback and they kicked the can because they found some guy. But then again, we don't know what's going to happen in these next couple of weeks. If we're still a competitive football team, I'm not saying that we will be, but if this team is in contention to do something like 2-3, 3-3, he won't be gone. But if this team's 0-8, yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you this. I believe too much in the defense to sit here and think that they're not gonna make it that far. That's where I'm at. Dia's back. Dia, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I think my mic is. I had to charge my other phone. It was dying.
Fair.
My answer is yes. I think McCarthy's the head coach for the end of the season. The only reason, it was 2 reasons. One, the Joneses generally don't like to make a change, but you can tell they're feeling the heat because ownership of the team has come up in week 2. But also, number 2, they already got the next head coach, y'all.
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore.
Watch your mouth.
Wait, no.
Dia, he already has a
You
succession
believe
plan. So
Sean
Tom
Payton's
says
coming
that
wherever
Kellen
he's
Moore's
due?
the next head coach,
Absolutely.
and Cooper Rush is the
Okay.
next OC.
Okay.
Not like real talk. I think Sean Payton is it. Period.
See, yeah.
There-
If he's
Agreed.
now, can we ask this though? If Sean Payton is the guy, does it make sense for what they're doing right now to basically to clean house, an excuse to clean house?
But
This is an excuse.
What I told you way back in
Yeah, you did.
in February or April.
You
Rip
did.
the Band-Aid and do it then because you don't want a lame duck situation. But here
100%.
we are.
Right.
So now here we are. I just say at the end of the day simply this. I believe in Micah and this defense that much that they'll carry. And I do think that I'm going to buy that Deck's coming back sooner than later. I'm going to plug it right here. I think he comes back for the Washington game. That's where I'm at. I think that's what's going to happen. That's where I'm at. And I think they'll figure some things out. Now, whether and another side of that is simply this. The Cowboys for years back into their schedule has been murderer row kind of. It's not this year. One of the first things whenever they did the schedule release and I talked about, I was like, actually, they did us a favor late. So if we're going to have these kind of issues, it benefits us to do them now and get ready for that backing because you can get hot and get on a run. That's why I don't think McCarthy gets up out of here. Now, it is very intriguing on this standpoint. And, as I use this on Twitter, as the star turns, boy, after week 1, this is why I had to talk about it earlier tonight and I put it on Twitter. Boy, we've only played one game and man, it literally feels the weight of this season feels like we're halfway through the season already. From what the Joneses are out here talking about to the injuries that are happening to everything in between. It's like, man, it's like we went through a half season worth of stuff and we've only played one game. So I like to temper things a little bit. And Dia made a great point. Outside of now, if Mike McCarthy loses the team, maybe, but outside of Wade Phillips, who did lose the team after the Green Bay loss, I mean, the Jones just haven't fired a guy in the middle of the season. Just hasn't happened.
Y'all, what proof did we have week 1? Week 1.
What proof?
That
What proof
that
of what?
McCarthy still has the team.
None. Defense. Here's the thing. It goes back to what Dan Quinn said. He looked at Mike McCarthy and said, "Hey, you want me to get up out of here?" And Mike McCarthy said, "If I was coaching 10 years ago, yes, get up out of here. However, for the Cowboys to do well, I need you here." So again, it goes back to my faith in when I answer this question, I'm talking about it. It's in Micah Parsons, Dan Quinn, and this defense, and how they can carry us forward. Now, what you do hear from Mike McCarthy after week 1 is how he's attacking the offensive side of the ball and what's going on there. So, no, I don't think he's lost the team yet. I don't, and I don't. Offensively, it was bad, but here's the thing: I've talked about adequate NFL depth. O-line, wide receiver, we don't have it. We just don't have it. So those guys that are playing for everything they can, you're not going to lose them. Now, stars, you can lose those. What stars on offense can Mike McCarthy lose? And of course, when you go to the deep side of the ball, it's not about McCarthy. It's about Dan Quinn. So he's safe in that conundrum, in my opinion, Dia.
I don't disagree. I think if they really didn't know who was going to be available and it was going to be like the Wild Wild West, then I think we would be more at risk or more of a chance that they would try to do something quick. I'm sorry, y'all. Call me overly optimistic. That's where my hopium is. Sure. That the deal with Peyton is done. They just didn't want to pay what it was going to cost to bring him in this season. So I just have to hope and believe that he's going to come in and still, I mean, being a player's coach don't mean being weak and smashing pumpkins.
Watermelons. There were watermelons first and foremost. There were watermelons.
Pumpkins, watermelons. I don't.
But I was just saying for this year. I ain't talking about next year.
Come in here.
Yeah. I was just saying this year, not next year. At a
higher level, I need somebody who is going to inspire that team and discipline them to the point where they can play at a level that is worthy of a Super Bowl win.
my biggest fear is that we have all these, like we said, DQ in the wings. DQ has options. I mean, if I truly think that he was this close to taking that Denver job, and Denver pivoted towards an offensive coach instead of going DQ. This whole situation again is just so eerily similar to how our other head coach, who was a former backup quarterback, became the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, because his offense, when he was not getting job interviews with the Ravens and multiple teams, his offense was looking like crap with Wade Phillips. Look, history loves to repeat itself, especially when it's mediocrity. I think the Jones are going to sell us on Sean Payton, and then they're going to go, well, we got our second best option, our homegrown, we like our guys, Kellen Horseface more. There is just so much. This isn't a coincidence. I mean,
why do you think he came back from Boise State? I don't mean to interrupt, but why do you think he didn't take the Boise State job?
Exactly. Like, there are so many red flags here, and they literally did a firing squad and just blamed every coach, but who?
Oh yeah, I've asked the question openly. The front office and nobody ever blames. Look, go back to Garrett, and Garrett last year asked for the play calling, didn't happen.
I agree.
And of course, immediately for me in the content that we do and what we talked about, whenever the end of the year press conference after we lost the playoff game, and McCarthy said, if you install it, you call it. And me spooning it, we talked. I was like, yo, that's Garrett. And now that's McCarthy saying the same things about Kellen Moore. And once again, if you rewind to all that different things, you just never hear it. Steven, Jerry, whoever the case may be, like, you just don't hear it. So
the only thing. Oh,
no,
sorry.
go ahead. You're good. Go ahead.
The only thing that I would reject is that Jason Garrett didn't have good offenses, right? Because at the end of the day, if you go look at that offense, roughly 2006 was all right, but 2007 is the season I remember the most. They balled out offensively that year, like incredible, and to the point where, I don't know that anybody was sad that Jason Garrett got the job. Kellen Moore is in a totally different situation.
Sure.
And so that's the only thing I just wanted to give just a smidge of clarity on, because if you go back, I want to say Romo threw for like well over 4,000 yards that season. I'm just saying it was a far better offensive season than what we gonna probably put together this season under Kellen Moore.
Say less.
I'm calling down.
I just want to say too. So Bruce said Kellen should have taken the Boise job. I think a lot of us agree with that. Not only because obviously we want him out of here, but that was in 2020. He interviewed in December of 2020 for that job. That was before last season. So he then went on the 2020-2021 offseason and interviewed with NFL teams and didn't get hired. Then this most recent offseason, he interviewed for 3 head coaching jobs and didn't get the opportunity. So he's now interviewed over the last 3 years for, I think, 9 different NFL team jobs and hasn't been hired. Right. Keep in mind, right now, the trend in the NFL is to hire young, hotshot offensive coordinators to be our offensive-minded coaches. I don't want to make it just offensive coordinators, to be your head coach. That's what we saw with O'Connell in Minnesota. We saw it with McDaniels in Miami. We see it every single offseason, and he still hasn't gotten hired. With an offense that ranked number 1 overall last year, and everybody in the league knows. And everybody in the league knows, even with that, he's not the reason that the offense is performing at that level. If they thought that, he would have been hired. So, yeah, I absolutely agree. He should have taken the Boise job a year and a half ago, because now his star is diminishing.
Look, and during the offseason, I was like, look, Kellen Moore has to develop a counterpunch. That's been my point. Like, if you go back to last year, if he lands whatever his game plan is and it lands out the gate, we're rolling and things are going to happen. But if we would all, after the first quarter and things were wonky, we would all look at each other and be like, it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be one of those games. So by the end of the season, we would get into this joint and what we would talk about, like, well, is Kellen going to be in the bag or not? We don't know. And the biggest thing from Kellen was the counterpunch has to happen. Denver, look, we laughed. We literally laughed about Denver coming out and saying, "Oh, the blueprint is here," and we're like, "Do what?" The next week we played Atlanta, and we blew them out of the water. Scored the most points ever in the Cowboys' history in the first half. Until I think we played either Washington or whatever 50 burger was against Washington or Philly. And, but you move on from that and things went left. And then the guys that were worth their weight in salt as defensive coordinators looked at the Denver tape and it happened, which is funny as we're talking about everything that the Joneses said on the radio today, because Jerry said, well, I mean, they asked him specifically Denver game moving forward and what happened. And he's like, well, I'll just take the record afterwards. Well, we're 6-5 after Denver from the Denver game last year, including the playoff game in week 1. We're 6-5. What are we talking about? But they figured him out in that realm. And I've said this a ton. Man concepts, if you want to play man against Kellen, good luck. But this zone, he hasn't figured it out. And everybody knows it. Go back to week 1 against the Bucs. What happened? White, the linebacker, came out and said, yeah, we knew. They wasn't going to keep running the ball. We didn't believe it. We knew. And they understood it. And on top of that, whether they were rushing 4 or 3, they got home. I mean, this offense is very much exposed. And let me pivot back to and Spoonie last year. We talked about, and I said, it's like a pitcher tipping his pitches. He's letting you know what pitch is coming. This is what Kellen Moore's turned into. Now, I didn't say Kellen Moore would just be that guy for the rest of his life because he's a young play caller. Because you have opportunity to grow, and I don't think he made a ceiling, but he has to develop the counterpunch and figure things out. And it didn't happen. Week 1, it didn't happen.
But you also took away quality players.
No, that's fair.
So,
Sure.
Day, if you have a young offensive coordinator who already is unproven, has some predictability isloos,
two number one offenses though, Dia.
Until it counts.
You know why? Hey, look, watch. I'm glad you walked through that door, because if I go all the way back to Jason Garrett before Linehan, and then we get to Linehan, and then we get to Kellen Moore, those offenses clicked when they had alpha type of talent, because the scheme is, if I have better talent, I can just outbeat you with the scheme. When I don't have the talent, shout out to 2018 with the first Robinson core, whatever. Here's the thing. If you don't have those guys at skill positions, this scheme doesn't work. That's the problem.
But the play design is rudimentary.
Exactly.
Like, I was at the Thursday night game last night. Give it up to the Chargers, yo.
Sure.
They put some pretty plays.
Sure.
On that
was my tweet. I got you. Yeah, I feel that.
And so we don't have none of that. We ran slants the whole way. Look, don't get me upset again.
Against the Cardinals last year, we said, Dalton Schultz, we know that you're not the best blocking tight end, but we're going to put you against Chandler Jones 5 times in the same game. And then this recently game, the play that Eddie's joking about there with the quadruple reverse, our game plan was to let Noah Brown block one-on-one an edge rusher. And assuming he makes the block. That's one of those plays that I'm sure when Kellen drew it up against air, it probably looked beautiful. But as soon as you put any competent edge rusher in the league against a wide receiver one-on-one, they're going to lose every single time. Every time. The only way they don't lose is if they cut him. And if they do that, that's illegal. Can't cut in the NFL in that area, especially coming from the outside. So there was no way that play was going to work, period. Like, it's just a poorly drawn play. So,
yeah, there's a big difference between trying to get too cute and run trick plays versus creativity and well-executed play design. Y'all, the reason the fans are furious is because we saw in week 1 everything that you have been selling us since February, March has been foolishness. And we all knew, but you literally pooped the bed in prime time. So for me, that's the issue.
That's the issue.
Yeah, and
I have another issue real quick with Kellen too. So Nick says he doesn't have an effective counterpunch, which is 100% factual. Everybody agrees. I don't think he has a good jab / setup punch either. And the reason I say that is repeatedly we see Tavon Austin on the field immediately run a jet sweep. Any Tony Pollard's on the field, immediately give him the ball. Like we never ever set it up. Like you bring in a TJ Basher type of guy, like a bigger bodied player, you immediately throw a fade to him. Like there's no setup. You don't let him actually run routes. So right now, as soon as Turpin gets on the field, whether it's this upcoming game, Giants game, whenever they decide to actually unleash him a little bit on offense, I guarantee you see a wide receiver screen, a jet sweep, or some play like that immediately. They won't let him run a couple routes first to make the defense say, oh, bet they're not doing that. Okay, cool, let's play normal coverage. As soon as he comes on the field, they're going to immediately do that. So it's just frustrating because I don't think he has a good counter punch, and I don't think he has a setup punch either.
Well, there's also
you guys hear me?
Did we get Ron in the building? His sick.
Yes.
Are you finally here?
Bro, I'm on my phone hotspot.
I mean, you've been in out.
It's bad, bro. My internet's down.
Okay.
I'm using my phone hotspot.
You got Comcast. Say no more.
This is exactly the conversation I came for. So, like, after an hour and a half of wanting to just throw my modem out the window, I'm glad I did it. So to go on this, I did a lot of studying, and I have literal notes for you guys. Okay.
Hold on, wait.
No,
he took so long. Solo layout for our guy.
There we go.
Solo layout for him.
Let's see.
He's been battling. He's been up, down, back and forth.
Let's get some light.
All right, there we go. Get some light. Solo layout for our guy. Let's go.
Here's the problem with Kellen Moore's scheme. There's two things. You guys have talked about it. I've talked about it at length. When they have a running back on the field on a passing down, they block them. They do not put them out on a route, which means they have less than they could have out there. So they always talk about how Zeke is the man. He has the best pass blocking. That's why he's out there, et cetera, et cetera. Then this week, we get to see Pollard out there. And they're like, see, look what happens when we put Pollard out there. He can't block. Like they because the thinking is 1990s football. Instead, they don't put him out on a route when obviously you could trick the linebacker, do a check and release, and take off. So here is what I found. It's very much Jason Garrett as well. No offense. You guys still got me, right?
Go ahead. You're good.
Okay. This is
my man got the legal notepad. Let's go.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
I got the legal notepad.
Yes, let's go.
This is an Ohio concept.
Yes.
Do you know what an Ohio concept is built for?
Go for it. Tell the people.
What does this beat? This beats cover 2. Okay. So you have the quarterback, wide receiver 1 on the outside. Wide receiver, you always go from outside to inside. Wide receiver 1, and you try to hit the honey hole in between the cornerback and the safety. Then you have wide receiver 2, which pulls once that corner is pushing out, the receiver 2 goes towards that flat cornerback, right? So you read it. Hold on, let me get it. So you read it. This cornerback pushes this receiver to the sideline, which frees up this guy right here, right? Great concept. If it's called on cover 2. Now, if it's called on cover 4, which is a match concept, which means that this curl flat defender mans up this and the cornerback mans up this guy, wide receiver 1, it's covered. So if you call Ohio right here, which Kellen Moore likes to call, it's actually the play that Dak threw the pick on. And even though they got a cover 2 look, he just made a bad read. If you call Ohio against cover 4, it's covered. Now, this is the problem with Kellen Moore's scheme. He calls mirrored routes. Okay?
Yes, let's go. Let's go.
So this is Ohio, right? Okay, so what's the problem here if if the defense calls cover 4? What's wrong with that?
No one's open.
No one's open. What's the running back doing?
Supposed to be blocking.
Right. What's this?
We don't talk about the
Open
middle of the
space
field.
that we don't attack ever.
There's no There's nothing for Dak to come off of. So this is how arrogant Kellen Moore's play calling is. He is saying, I have the right play call because I think you're going to call cover 2. That's how arrogant it is. Okay? This does nothing for my quarterback. This running back should be leaking into the center if you're going to call Ohio. Okay? What a good play caller does is call the concept that beats 2 different coverages.
Yo,
this is Ohio. This is levels. Okay, this beats cover 4.
Oh, that was good.
This beats cover 2. This running back leaks out and it beats everything because these linebackers are so distracted with it, whichever's coming over the middle. And this is what Kellen Moore does not do. When I see mirrored routes on tape, I want to
pay for the
freak
dub
every single time. I think I got one more. This is how easy it is, Kellen Moore.
Oh no! Wait! Let me go solo. There we go.
Ain't no
Go ahead.
Coordinator. Okay, we have Dagger, Ohio. If you love Ohio so much to beat your cover 2, here's your Dagger. Okay, and then your running back comes into the vacated area. It's not hard, guys. It's not hard. He calls weird route, which means he thinks I'm so good at this that I've called the perfect play to beat the coverage on both sides. Instead of calling a play that has a backside something for Dak to come off of. Dak is an excellent reader of the field. He processes. The reason he likes to stutter sometimes is because he sees, oh crap, our play isn't open. It's not that he can't see what's going on. It's that guy's covered, that guy's covered. If I look on the other side of the field, guess what? They're covered too.
They're covered.
Ain't nothing over there.
There ain't nothing over there.
Dia.
And then the other thing that we do, and this is the reason why Dak used to crush blitzing, his scheme is built to beat man. Like Kellen Moore's scheme is built to beat man.
Yes, exactly.
It is excellent.
To be fair, though,
the man beaters in his
they're elite.
Are beautiful.
His man beaters are elite.
Thank you. The other piece of that, though, the other piece of that,
beautiful.
But we got rid of the best. We get rid of the best route runner we had. So in order for you to really win, your play calling assessment is absolutely on point. But you got a bunch of people out there. I'm sorry, like Amari Cooper runs beautiful, clean routes.
Sure.
He ain't there yet, y'all.
Yeah.
Is he explosive?
But
yeah,
here's the thing. Dia, I promise you. Here's the thing. And I Spoony, how long have I been talking about this? The man concepts versus
past 4 years.
Right. It doesn't and I really do believe this when I say this. If these teams didn't understand that they didn't have the end, there was an in Kellen Moore's pocket, and they want to play man, they can. And here's the fault. They can run with this wide receiver core right now, but if they want to man up, and we would be fine. Again, Kellen Moore from a man concept in his scheme is absolutely A1 top tier. The problem is he's the very not use the F word. I'm not going to F-bomb. He is the very bottom when it comes to zone is the issue. This is why he hasn't got hired. And again, we can talk about the wide receivers or whatever. But I'm telling you right now, and look, I want Cooper here. I'm with you with Amari Dia. If teams didn't understand this offense currently, and they want to play man, they literally, like Kellen Moore, would go and win. The problem is Denver showed it last year, and this team is 6-5 ever since. Period. Because they're not going to play man against this team.
Nick, you know what's really sad? When you have bad receivers who can't get separation, what are you going to call as a defense? Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can get people open. You can get Jags open in a zone defense with a scheme. And that's what's so scary about what's happening. We have Jags, but run a scheme where you have CeeDee Lamb has to get open. I've put it on Twitter. He has to get over the buzz linebacker. He has a man on him, and he has a safety over the top. That's not double coverage.
Right.
That's trail with buzz. That's superstar treatment.
Facts.
And it's just the concepts are so like it's so bad. Kellen Moore's scheme is so bad that teams aren't even playing man on our Jag receivers. That's sad.
Big facts. Well, let's pivot out of here on this because we've been working with y'all for an hour and
I just want to give a quick stat with that real quick too.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we all agree that Kellen Moore and Dak in particular are lethal against man coverage. The problem for Dallas is the entire league is zone heavy. The entire league. Week 1, only one team, the Detroit Lions, played man coverage over 50% of the snaps. One team. So your entire scheme is dependent on playing something that the entire league does not do as the staple of their defense. It's a zone-heavy league. So if you don't have effective zone-beating concepts, you're going to struggle, especially once teams know, hey, I can rush 3 and still get to your quarterback. I can drop 8 in coverage and take away all of your options, because if you watch the film, which I know Aaron did, I'm sure everybody else here has watched as well, there was 6 plays that I counted where Dak got to the end of his drop and not a single receiver on the screen was facing him. All of their backs were to him because they were still developing their routes.
No, he should throw the ball though, man. He should throw the ball though.
Just throw the ball, right? Yeah. So when you have 8 guys in coverage, none of your receivers are facing you. You have to double clutch. You have to hesitate. You have to go off of one read and go to another and hope somebody finishes the route. So that's the problem with these slow progressing routes when you're running multiple people on comebacks, multiple people on go routes and things like that. It takes time. And with our offensive line, we don't always have time. And with our receivers not having a multitude of route concepts being like, we don't have rub routes. We don't do those. We just don't. We don't do shallow crossing routes. And if we do, it's very, very sparingly. We don't use a lot of bunch. When we do line up in bunch, we motion out of bunch, which takes the advantage you have of having the bunch on the field of that quick separation and natural rub concepts out of the equation. So it's just crazy. I agree. Thank you, Aaron, for bringing up
we don't have
well done.
clear out routes. We have no clear out routes. There's nothing that pulls the defense up and sends something deep underneath of it.
What are those?
We don't have
those. But who you throwing it to?
Go deep. What?
It doesn't matter.
But here's the thing.
You don't need good people to clear people out. You just need someone to be respected. Like when James Washington gets back, they don't run him.
Who do they respect though?
They have speed. They have a little bit of speed. They have Turpin. When they get Gallup back, they can do it, but it's not in their game plan. They're not going to do it anyway. That's the problem. We don't draft fast receivers because we don't have an offense that supports it anyway.
No,
we have a time.
But the problem is you're literally trying to make a steak with a whisk.
Yep.
You're not using your tools appropriately. And I'm not saying I was thrilled when they drafted CeeDee Lamb, but he wasn't a 1.
But here's the thing though, Dia. Like you take a Jefferson and you look at it in its entire whatever, he has somebody on the other side. You get a new coach who's offensive minded, right? So 60% of his routes all of a sudden turn into routes against linebackers and safeties. And in those routes, in those 6 routes, it's 5 catches for 132 yards. Go dial up how many routes that CeeDee gets against linebackers and safeties because we don't scheme it up that way. Cooper Kupp, for instance, Cooper Kupp. Look, I think we all agree that Cooper Kupp is an amazing wide receiver, right? We would think that. So we would think any team that he plays against would say, you know what, Cooper Kupp, we're not going to let you win. We're just going to double, triple, do whatever. The problem with our scheme is simply this. The way that we call plays and the way that we do things gives teams the easy out to bracket and do whatever to take them away. We don't scheme them open. We use motion to identify man or zone. That's all we do. We don't use motion to gain leverage. We don't use anything to do on the back end of helping them get an advantage. And that's in lies the issue as we have double D's here now. This is funny.
Whoa. All right.
Double D's.
It's weird.
I'll get rid of this one. Yeah, double coverage. Diaz double covering me as I'm talking about what you're talking about, CeeDee Lamb. But again, when you look at Kupp, you look at Jefferson, you look at their percentages against linebackers and safeties. How does that happen? Because they're not lined out way outside either way, or they're put in motion and they do things, and that's not what happens here in Dallas with
Hey,
those
Nick,
guys.
if we had Justin Jefferson, what kind of routes do you think he'd be running?
Hitches,
Ohio.
outs, and comebacks.
That's it.
Ohio.
Yeah.
That's it, baby.
There you go. And that's the big
OHIO.
and
Look, you could take CeeDee Lamb and put him in Minnesota, and you would take Jefferson and put him in Dallas. They would be completely opposite of what you're looking at right now. God's honest truth.
And that's for Kellen though. Like I wish we could sit him down with Aaron for like 5 minutes, because then he could say, "Look, you like mirroring routes. Cool. Let's run slant wheels, because then you are attacking multiple spots on the field. Because if you don't drop your safeties in coverage, my slant will be hit behind your linebackers, one-on-one in open field. If you do put him there, I now have a nickel cornerback with a rub route concept in front of him with the slant. Now my wheel is one-on-one down the sideline with the step. Like, that's a route you can run mirrors on.
Yeah, we don't want.
Can't run double Ohio.
We don't want that though, sir. And this is Madden right now. We don't want that.
And that's
it
the
works
big.
in Madden.
And this is the biggest problem too, is that when you have a coaching deficiency like that and a front office where they deplete your offensive firepower and don't replenish it, this is the result you get. Because now what you're doing is, and when you look at these concepts, it's like, okay, you mean to tell me that you are expecting the one guy who, hey, they're treating him like that superstar, and then they're like, hey, I want you to try and beat me with these other guys. And then when they do that, then it's kind of like you're hoping, okay, maybe, just maybe they can do it. But that is exactly what.
Maybe, just maybe.
Like, and I get so annoyed because it's like, yeah, it's like when I have to listen to people be like, oh, it's so-and-so's this fall, and like, but it's a lot deeper than this. And I've said this, and I was going to mention this earlier, is that this is, as much as I don't like putting on the tinfoil cap, it does look like a concerted effort to do things. And it looks like a sabotage, right? Because, you know, sure, you can spin it all these ways, but if we're going to sit, not saying anyone here, but if fans are going to sit there and be like, oh, it's the quarterback's responsibility to mask the deficiencies of a front office, that's not how this thing works, right? It's not any quarterback's responsibility to mask a deficiency of a terrible front office or terrible coaching staff. Sure, there are quarterbacks that can do that, and there's those that cannot, but I'm not paying my quarterback to be like, oh, what's that? I have a shitty head coach, excuse me, but I have a terrible head coach, or I have this, or I have a terrible front office. I need you to win for me. That's not how this thing works. And you can look at it, and we've talked about it here in the Spaces, Twitter, you name it, right?
True. Yeah.
Hey, Pat Mahomes, what did they do? Oh, we lost in the Super Bowl because our offensive line got decimated and we need to rebuild that. 1 year. Boom. The whole offensive line. Oh, what's that? We want to redo our entire wide receiving core because we don't want Tyreek Hill. Boom. You fix that.
Hey, Space. If Sky Moore was on the Cowboys, what number wide receiver is he? Number 2 right now, right?
Well, he should be, but he'll probably be 4 because, you know.
I'm talking about the Cowboys. The Cowboys, he'd be number 2 right now.
Yes, of course, but like knowing how the Cowboys are.
Look,
yeah.
They did so much in the offseason. He's like number 4 for them. And it's he's a
he didn't learn special teams. He'd be inactive, guys.
There you go. And that's the problem, is the way the Cowboys conduct. Yeah. And that's the issue with the Cowboys is they operate business in a way that is completely outdated. And I use this analogy all the time. It's like you're trying to file your taxes using a computer from 1990. It's literally impossible.
Hey, look, that's a soft spot. I got IRS told me I was like 70 racks today. I'm dealing with shit.
Okay. Tom is so just so you guys know, Tom is an accountant, so hit your boy up if you need help.
Yeah, I'm just saying. There you go. Yeah. I'm down bad right now, apparently. I don't know. I have a lot of different situations or whatever.
So can we talk about that real quick? That's a great segment. A great segue really quick. So the Jalen Tolbert conversation this week from McCarthy. Man. First off, he had a hamstring injury in May that apparently set him back this drastically. But he said we put a lot on him because we asked him to do what CeeDee Lamb's doing, and that's why he can't get on the field because we're asking him to learn a lot of different things. How about you just don't do that? How about you just don't do that? How about you say, hey, we need you on the field instead of Dennis Houston because you
we don't do that here.
Why don't we just have you play the X? Just have you practice Z right now.
Hey,
we'll worry about the other stuff later.
Oh, hamstring was when?
In May or something? I don't know. A long time ago.
How many preseason games did he play?
He played in 2, maybe 3. Did he play?
He played all 3.
Like, what are we talking about? Stop lying to me. Hamstring, and he's not on, but he played all preseason. Like, I'm so done with that kind of.
Show me the MRI.
Well, listen, I tell you with this, I tell people this all the damn time when it comes to this front office and how they conduct business. I don't like them in a house. I don't like them with the mouse. I don't like them here or there. I don't like them anywhere. Like the full freaking green eggs and ham crap.
Right.
Like, I do not care that I have to listen to this man go on live radio and be like, well, at the end of the day, we use all our cap space, when literally Google is your best friend and you can see that we have the 5th most cap space to use. And look, this is the funny
No. See, no. Mr. Burner account. Steven Jones says they spend all the money. Don't come here with that crap.
Well, listen, I'm not the burner account. I could come in as the burner account and I'd be lying straight to your face, me calling out Mr.
We see your
Dan
picture
Rogers.
right now. We see your picture right now, sir.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I have no I'll just say this for just lighten the mood because I know we get on this front office gets on our nerves. Like the fact that I could come out of character with that parody account and have someone literally be like, "Oh, it's true. The Cowboys spend all their cap space." I nearly want to drink hydrogen peroxide because that's not true. Stop. Just stop. If you listen, I'm not trying to sit here and act if you're trying to maneuver and you want fine, you can do that, but don't lie to people, man. There's no incentive to do that. We're trying to help educate people, especially if you're someone that writes for the Cowboys, or you do content creation. Doing that kind of stuff ain't doing anybody favors. All you're doing is you're spreading this stuff, and then we got to listen to people be like, well, Space Cowboy, I can't believe that Dak Prescott couldn't sign all these free agents. It's just
fair. It's fair.
Well, get the hell out of here, man.
Well,
even when talking about Zeke, and they asked about Zeke's contract, they went to him. It's like that guy that gets dumped by the girl, says he hates her, but talks about her every single day. Everybody has that friend. Maybe it's a girl in your circle, whatever. But they're like, I hated them, and every day I forget them, but they keep bringing them back up.
Right.
They said Zeke's contract, and he was like, well, Zeke, blah, blah, but we had to pay Dak Prescott money. And I'm like, we're not the only team that has a quarterback that's making money, and Dak's not even in the top 8 anymore or whatever.
I want to speak on this, and I'm glad you kind of bring that up, and also talking about the Kellen Moore thing. Anybody that gets that, if you're going to take one thing away from this, listen, I don't give a damn if it's Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, or insert quarterback here in the future. Unless you're going to change up your offensive scheme, you're going to still have the same problems. And I'm not going to be here and listen to how people are going to be like, oh, I miss so-and-so because they played a lot better than what we got here. Because I'm not here for that. And I'm not going to be dealing with that.
That's fair. Well, as we've been rocking here for a smidge over 2 hours, we'll get out of here on this. We appreciate everybody come through, rock with us. Hope you hit the sub. Obviously, share it out. Keep growing the channel every Wednesday and Friday. We're here rocking. And of course, now we have the new show going during the week, The Due Diligence. Make sure you tune in for that as well. Good times on that side. So Bengals up, we know 0-1, 0-1, everything in between. I'm gonna just go around the clock here, and I'm gonna go. Look. With a doppelganger, I know what your name. I know where you are, but the doppelganger. I mean, so what's your prediction? I tell you what, no scores tonight, guys. How about that? No scores. What is your confidence level that the Cowboys can get the win from 1%, 0% to 100%? 100%, we definitely win. 0% definitely lose. What is your percentage level of the Cowboys beating the Bengals come Sunday at Eastern time or Central time, 3:15? What you got for me, Doc?
I got a better chance of winning the Powerball. That's what I'll go with.
Well, I give you. What's your percentage? Now I want to know. What's your percentage?
Oh my gosh!
What's your percentage with the Powerball?
0.102. I think we'll score 6 points and double our point total, and Brett Maher will continue to be our leading scorer.
Money Maher. We were so worried about Maher.
After this front office, like them again arguing like parents, like over a custody battle. That's how you're going to go into this week on a big win game. Okay, good luck. Just I very little.
I said we didn't need some voice for Uncle Ben's rice. I mean, look, cut me a check. I don't care. Cut me a check. Space. Percentage confidence level of the Cowboys winning come Sunday.
Give me 1 second. I'm doing something here.
All
Okay,
right,
here we go. So I had to look up how much cap space we have. I'm giving us an 11% chance to win.
Okay, all right, fair.
And also Micah Parsons too. I think that if you're gonna win this game, it's on the back.
Go 11 Parsons and 11.
Listen,
space.
The only bit of optimism that I have is look at what Pittsburgh did offensively in that game, and I'll tell you that
90 yards for the quarterback, 22 yards for the running back. I feel you.
Yeah, so it's just all you got to do is just score or have the Bengals only score maybe 3 points, and maybe you'll win.
All right, hit stick. Hey, what's your percentage?
I'm with him, 10%. I mean, they can win. Anything can happen on the weekend. So, but I'm thinking it's 24-9. I think the score will be.
See, you had the notepad handy. Hoping you were going to do it judge style, where you just hold it up and show us your percentage.
I had one more play. I forgot.
Oh,
by the way.
Oh, hold on. Wait. Oh, he has one more play. Wait.
This is smash, guys. We ran this on third and long, and guess which one CD Lamb was? Okay.
Was he on the sideline?
Right here. This guy right here.
Yeah, you already know. Running that.
So if we keep running that crap, no, we're not gonna score a touchdown.
All right,
Maybe
Spoonie, what's your percentage of the Cowboys against the Bengals winning?
80%.
I want you guys to know that it's down from it was 100% on Wednesday. So he's
80. No, it's been 80. It's been 80. I put 80%.
I thought it was.
You owe money, Spoonie? Is that what's going on?
No. I really do think I'm very when it comes to response, I really believe in response, and I believe what Michael Parsons did, not be on the Fox Sports show. Mike McCarthy coming out, saying what he said with Kellen Moore. I just have optimism that the defense would do enough for the offense to win this game. But I mean, like I said, it's not a popular answer. I do know that, but I really do think we have guys on this defense that really wants this win. It's tough. I'll eat crow next week, but I tell you this right now: we 0-2. I'm tapping out all the way. But I'm going to give you one more shot.
All right. Professor O, your percentage?
So my percentage is the exact same as Wednesday. I'm going with 35%. I don't think it's a great shot, but I do know that the Bengals gave up 7 sacks. They had 4 interceptions and a fumble. So if we have anywhere close to those results, we should be in the ballgame. But I ultimately think we lose. So 35%, it's possible, but not likely.
So for my wrestling fans out there, there's a what do they call it? The heel move, the switcheroo, whatever you want to call it.
Heel.
Because heel turn, if you will. Because I've lived on this path that if this offseason, that if Spoonie goes one way, I go completely opposite. And Spoonie said 80%. He did say 80% Wednesday. Oh, because I went negative.
Okay.
The same number for what it's worth. However, ladies and gentlemen, bucket 100%. Cowboys win the game Sunday. That was Wednesday. I've moved on. I've flushed myself. The Cowboys will win this game Sunday. You know why? Because there's too much shit going on. Simply.
I mean, that's a typical Cowboys thing.
And whenever all this kind of stuff is happening and it's weird and this weird things are happening and the coaches are here and they're talking to each other and Jerry and the Joneses are out here and all these wild things are happening and there's no way the Cowboys can ever win. Guess what they do? They win. I've been here. I've seen this.
Unless it's the playoffs, right?
We're regular season, sir.
And then it's
sorry.
Yeah,
I love toxic mess.
But here's the thing. Though, Toxic. Here's the thing, Toxic. You don't see this kind of conundrums when we're in the playoffs, but you see them during the regular season. And when these things typically happen with the Cowboys, they end up winning. I can't explain it. I don't understand why. I've just seen it enough to happen. Look, I don't believe that Cooper Rush is about to walk through the door. I think it's switcheroo time. I feel much better if Will Greer comes out there. But on the antithesis of knowing the Cowboys, their history, and dumb shit that they do, they'll win this game. So, yeah, here I am, 100%. I'm heel turning from Wednesday on I'm going 100%. The Cowboys will win.
And then Cooper Rush throws the first pick, and it's a pick six, and then we're like, fuck. And then it's like...
I didn't know the game stopped at 6, sir. So I think the Cowboys still win them. How about them apples?
I mean, we scored 3 points a game, so 6 would be...
There you go.
Dagger right there.
So if we lose, where do we riot?
We're down 6 points. Insurmountable.
Look, when the season is a wash, we got to coordinate, and it has to be look, I wanted to do it. Kind of positioned it where it needed to be. I talked about this earlier before we even came onto the space or anything. And I've been talking like, yo, we should have the Storm Riot. Not Riot. Riot's too harsh of a word. Just
Storm the Star.
Yeah, there you go. Storm the Star.
Sacrifice the Rowdy.
They're gonna get Gary out of there on his helicopter like Da Nang. They're gonna see him on the roof, and
you know, protest if you burn it. Now, Dia went to burn the jerseys, whatever. I was like, turn your jerseys in, whatever. I don't care. Turn your merch in, whatever. But I think I didn't know when, and we were talking about it during the day and the night. And as you said, Thanksgiving is the time. Go right ahead. What you got for us before we get out of here?
This is Sparta!
Yeah,
it's Michael Parsons.
That part. With that being said, man, we appreciate everybody running with all week long. Obviously, I ran some very spicy spaces. Sorry, I'm trying not to be outside of my realm. But again, today with the Cowboys Happy Hour space, each and every Friday at 7:30 p.m., me, Spoonie, and others will be in the building from Pick Six Sports. And, of course, right here, Spoonie, me, we're in the building. And, of course, no matter who shows up, we got people to come through. Everybody's going, Eddie, my guy Eddie's going to fly from Cali and get it in. I already know. You know what I mean? But we appreciate
Eddie
everybody.
was hilarious all night. Shout out to Eddie.
Yeah, facts.
Eddie made my night, bro. Eddie made my night.
Part. No. Tonight's cast was brought to you by the words legal and pad, period. And that's our guy who had to get his Comcast right and everything else.
Too,
It was literally legal, pad, and everything. Sometimes you just got to draw it out there and let people know. With that being said, I definitely want to spin the wheel and roll the carpet. Toxic, anything. I guess your wife's gone now. I guess she was talking noise earlier. Shout out to you. Anything you want to plug? Tell people where to follow you. Anything else, bro?
Nah, I'm on nothing, man. Just go Orioles. We need a wild card. Let's go. That's it.
Let's go Orioles. Space, I know you got some things. What you got for everybody?
Yeah, sure. You guys can follow me over on my channel. It's Space Cowboy Media. Also on Twitter, the @Space Cowboy MED. Do yourself some due diligence. Go follow my channel and go follow my Twitter. If you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice, and Stephen Jones is going to come and steal all your money for the salary cap. So don't.
There you go. Look, they're not doing due diligence at that point, sir.
Yeah.
They're not doing due diligence.
Exactly.
They don't follow you.
There you go.
My guy Hitstick, aka Ron. Anywhere they can find you in the legal pad, sir.
Nah, man, just glad you're back from vacation. Professor O and Spoonie held it down, but it's good to have you back, man.
I mean, I appreciate that, man. And of course, as always, and of course, as always, we're here. We're always here every Wednesday, every Friday. You can catch us right here, Pick Six Sports in the building. O has written work. Where can they find their written work during the season, sir?
Yeah, you can find me on Cowboys Wire, which is cowboyswire.usatoday.com. I have a new article coming out tomorrow that is the advanced stat notebook breaking down the Cowboys and Bengals matchup. It's super ugly, but again, it's a 1 week sample, so hopefully next week's is a little bit more fun to read. But it has the data you need to let you know that according to 4 key statistics, we have no chance to win, basically. But
100%.
That's why you play the game. That's why you play the game.
I don't even care. 100%. We're winning, Spoon. Spoon, I'm taking your 80 and I'm up at the end. 100%.
Let's go. Right.
That part.
Lots
hey, yeah, well, no lots for this year for us, sir. But with that being said, y'all be safe, y'all be blessed. Obviously, Follow if you see me and O and Spoonie. If y'all ain't caught us on Twitter yet, we're right there on Twitter. By all means, hit those. Come follow us. Great content. Hold on. The O's been waiting the whole time. He couldn't get him in all night, but right now he's hitting the soundboard. He's like, I'm getting the soundboards off. I've been waiting to do it all night. I don't know why you've been waiting. I was waiting for you to hit him. Oh, man, we out of here. What? I'm never leaving O again with the soundboard. That's what I know now. You have a great night. Peace.
Mm-hmm.